Today we are talking about racism of white institutionalism. I filed this complaint in December 2014 against South Carolina Department of Employment, Workforce, and others for civil rights violation. I did not file it as a civil rights complaint, but I filed it as a defamation case because the United States EEOC had dismissed my complaint against South Carolina Department of Employment, Workforce unlawfully, and I felt the court would do the same without that order. But I found out the court would have dismissed the complaint no matter what it would have been filed under. I'm not going to focus my attention on all the documents in this report and recommendation by United States Master Judge Page J. Gossett. I'm just going to focus on page 5 through 7. On page 5 through 7, Judge Page J. Gossett lay out the requirement to invoke the jurisdiction of the United States District Court. But in my original complaint, I laid out the violation that was committed by South Carolina Department of Employment, Workforce, and others, which met the standard set forth by Judge Page J. Gossett. But she turned a blind eye to injustice to deny me a favorable ruling. Because as I said before, I was a black man going against our white institution, and that was not going to be allowed. But as you can see here in Judge Page J. Gossett reported recommendation, she stated, in order for a defamatory statement to implicate a protected liberty interest under the 14th Amendment, a communication must imply the existence of a serious character defect such as dishonesty or immorality. But as you can see, barred from applying is a serious character defect. Receiving up to 15 rejection email from the South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce denying me a job in one day is a serious character defect. Making false charges of harassment and threats of calling local law enforcement is a serious character defect. Denying me a job opportunity because of secret blackballing effect is a serious character defect. Barred from applying had denied me a job opportunity with the South Carolina Judicial Center and other opportunities is a serious character defect. She also talked about here, defaming a person, a public official, solely impairs that person's future employment opportunity. Well, this is what barred from applying did. When it denied me that job opportunity with South Carolina Judicial Center from Charlene Bellamy. And there's other records as well. And so I met the standard set by Judge Page J. Gossett, but she still chose to ignore those violations laid out in my original complaint to deny me a favorable ruling. Judge Page J. Gossett could not have dismissed this case because of the $75,000 requirement because I had sued the state of South Carolina for much more. But she used this law here, as stated, 28 U.S.C. 1332A. I'm not sure whether she applied that law lawfully because South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce original operation is in the state of South Carolina, and I live in South Carolina. And the federal courts consider places of employment to be in every state because of their operation. And therefore, it was impossible to separate South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce and other and I because we live in the same state. In my original complaint, which is laid out here, I provided Judge Gossett evidence of receiving 10 rejection letters from South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce. I talked about being informed or being secretly blackballed by South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce. I talked about receiving a threatened phone call from South Carolina due HR official and threats to contact the local law enforcement authority. I talked about receiving that notification from South Carolina Judicial Center of Charlene Bellamy denying me a job opportunity because of barred from applying. I talked about how barred from applying is not a system error, but is an intentional act by South Carolina Department of Employment Workforce to deny me a job opportunity for which I was well qualified for and had worked. So Judge Paige J. Gossett had the evidence and she had the facts laid out before her. But she chose to turn a blind eye to injustice. Here's the second part of my complaint. And these two documents that I just showed you was filed in an original video entitled Racism of White Institutionalism. To the United States Department of Justice, I have just provided you with additional evidence of judicial misconduct and miscarriages of justice. I am requesting a new investigation due to improper conduct of United States District Court by United States Magistrate Judge, Judge Paige J. Gossett, and others to come. And to the state of South Carolina, you refuse to say my name. I said my own name, and justice is still required.